Hi, it's JD, and this is the middle of my 100-day co-creation reality challenge. I started on June 20th. It's August 1st, so I'm smack dab in the middle of it, and just giving you a different point of view from the bedroom studios. You can see my stuffed animals collection in the background. I came to stuffed animals late in life. I was uh, too something when I was a kid to have stuffed animals on my bed. But once I got to be an adult, it changed. My man friend loves the sock monkey. I'm not into the sock monkey. Um, he used to scare me, but now there are too many around for me to be frightened. So, okay. I've been talking to you about the money mindset. Wealth, poverty, rich mom, poor mom, beggar mom, thief mom, whatever. But that's what I am focused on in this section of the challenge is rooting out my strange ideas about money. And I hope I can get through this today because yesterday it was a problem. I grew up on Long Island in the midst of incredible wealth. The people in Monaco and Luxembourg did not have as much money in the 70s as most of the people on Long Island. I had a friend named Linda, and I'm wondering if it's the same Linda who did Design in Women. We went to West Hampton Beach Junior High together, and she used to come to my house, but actually she only came once. And the story behind this is she wanted to come to my house, and I wanted to come to her house. She told me, we were 11, she told me, you can't come to my house. My parents are too rich. If you see my home, you will only see me as a rich girl. So I was like, fine, you can come to our house, which was a basement apartment in West Hampton at the time. The only time I've actually ever lived in the Hamptons. I lived in West Hampton with my mom and my sister. And we used to just, like, you could sit on the couch and instead of watching television, you could just watch people's feet go by, their shoes and the state of their, pedicure and whatever. I learned to estimate people's wealth from their shoes, from that basement apartment. You could tell rich or poor just from their feet. Um, she came, and it was like we were in a third world country to her. She was like, "How do you live like this? You can see one wall of this place from the other wall. Your room, my closet, is bigger than your bedroom." And so I wasn't mad, or upset or anything. But she was, so I could be honest, and she could be honest. And she was like, I can't come back here. I'm just like slumming. And now I don't see you in the same way. And I was like, it's fine, Linda, um, because I still just see you as a person, even though you see me as a poor person. I didn't know I was poor until I met Linda. And I wonder if she's the same Linda who came up with the movie Misfits of Science. I can't think of her last name. We were the Misfits of Science at West Hampton Beach Junior High School. Me, her, Mary, and one other girl who dropped out because the first day of class, Linda was saying, the cool people, they won't like me. And I was like, well, I'm black, so I have no chance with the cool people. So I'm just going to learn some science because I love science. Let's just be the misfits of science. Don't worry about the cool people. And that's what we called ourselves, the misfits of science. So when that movie came out and Designing Women, I'm wondering, is that the same girl? Um, she got sent to boarding school because Mary, the richest girl at West Hampton Beach Junior High, Linda was the second richest. She called me a nigger on the tennis court. And it was so surreal because we were like, we need a fourth. We were learning doubles in PE. And in my whole life, I never expected to utter the words, we need a fourth. But it was me because we did. And she said, I'm not playing with niggers. Niggers are nasty. And Linda took her wire-strung Wilson 1972 tennis racket and proceeded to clap Rich Mary over the head. She went down, woo, and I was like, oh no. Because, I was thinking, overt, covert, how am I going to get back at her for calling me a nigger? And before I could, and not the um, more on that later. But before I could make a decision, Linda had teed off on Mary with that racket. And the last time I saw her, her face was smashed against the glass of the limousine that the driver was sent to take her directly to boarding school. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. The other thing that I learned at West Hampton Beach Junior High was how 11-year-olds value their trust funds. They were sitting at lunch, and I didn't want to be the free lunch kid that day, so I brought my lunch. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Free lunch at West Hampton Beach Junior High. Anyway, I'm sitting down there at the table listening to a discussion of trust funds. And this kid, I can't remember his name, he was dark hair, dark eyes. He could have been a Tuttle. But anyway, he was saying, he was reciting the terms of his trust, which was a payout at 18, another payout at 21, and the balance when he turned 35 or became married, whichever came first. And he said, and I still remember, I'm 50 now, the only way I'll get all that money is if both my parents die in a plane crash at the same time, so they never take the same flight. And somebody else said, well, do you know how much it is? And he's like, of course not. And somebody else said, does anybody know how much their trust fund is? And one little kid said, $3 million. And the dark-haired kid, peanuts. Peanuts. We're 11. Peanuts. And somebody else said, if you know how much your trust is, it's not enough. Which is where I picked up that little gem of wisdom. So really, I have some strange ideas about wealth. I am the world's worst reverse snob. I believe I invented the concept of reverse snobbery because it takes a lot to impress me. Because I walk past such wealth every day. It wasn't mine, but it was there for me to look at. And I knew people who were privy to that wealth. I went to school with some of them. I made friends with some of them. Some of them now I could probably hit up for cash if they knew I required a cash infusion, but that's where my terrible inability to remember names really does not serve me. So we're going to be working on that too in these 100 days. So just a little bit of background about why I'm so weird about money. I do more with nothing than most people do with something, and that's been all right with me for a while, but I'd like to get my hair done. I